Okay. Welcome everyone to the Expat Women's Make Bold Moves Abroad workshop. This is really a continuation of the Build Your Own Table, the presentation that I made at the summit. My name is Naina Kaputi. I'm the founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. I'm also a LinkedIn coach. And I thought this would be a good follow-up to the Build Your Own Tables Abroad workshop. Did you all get a chance to watch that workshop?
Not yet.
Okay,
No,
Javelin
sorry.
hasn't. Okay, for those since you're attending this live, for all those attending live, I will send you a link so you can also watch that. That's a little bonus or little prize for showing up, and especially Merelda, because she saw my reminder on Facebook like a few minutes ago, maybe, and jumped in. And then Marion, welcome. Good to see you here as well. So what I also would encourage all of you to do is introduce yourself in the chat. If we have time at the end, depending on how many people there are, we could have like a mini networking session. I'm going to make it really interactive so you'll all get to really get to know each other. But if you want for now to just share a link to your LinkedIn profile so you can all connect because all of you are here because you have similar backgrounds and similar interest. You're interested in making those bold moves, you're already making them. Okay, so while you do that in the chat, also share where you're based. So maybe if you live in the same town, city, you can also connect. And I will share my presentation. Can you see my screen? Yeah, you can, right? Okay. All right. Okay, so the focus really is on. So when I talk about bold moves abroad, I'm not talking about moving abroad. I'm talking about what you can do and how can you build your community visibility and opportunities after you moved abroad. And everything I share to do today is based on what I have done since my move to the US, what has led me to found the Expat Woman, become a LinkedIn coach, grow my business, grow my community of expat women to over 50,000 across our email lists and our social media platforms. And I don't have a business background. I don't have a community builder background. I don't have a social media background. But my move to the US and then reinventing myself, and I didn't have a roadmap when I moved here. So all these things I did for myself, kind of I wouldn't say intuition, maybe trial and error, and now I like sharing them with other women. So if you haven't followed me or connected with me on LinkedIn, this is my QR code. You can take a photograph of it. I mean, you hold your camera up, and then I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn. And as I said, I'm the founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. I founded the Expat Woman in 2013, and I'm wearing the same T-shirt as a photograph, make bold moves abroad. Um, and that's my motto. Is my focus is really on women who are living abroad and who want to either step into the spotlight or who have already stepped in the spotlight, and then help them elevate their seen, known, and recognized for their expertise so they get the opportunities they want. So today we'll cover what do we mean. I already briefly touched on bold moves abroad, why you should make bold moves abroad, the bold moves abroad roadmap, and I'll also briefly talk about the Expat Women membership. Janeline just joined our membership, and a big welcome after the summit. So I'll also talk about that if that's something on your radar, I mean on your agenda. So what do we mean by bold moves abroad? So it's intentional actions that help you stop playing small and start creating the opportunities, career, and life you truly want abroad. And sometimes I know when we move, we're confused, we're not sure what we want to do, or we have the clarity, but we just feel stuck because I know how hard it is in a new country because you don't have that network, you don't have that community that can really enhance or elevate your skills and expertise. And so you sometimes have to really start from scratch because you leave your network behind, your comfort zone, your career, your identity. I'm just curious, how many of you agree with this? Like, you when you moved abroad, these were some of the things you left behind. Let me know in the chat. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Melissa, network in particular. Wow, Miranda left her family at the age of 18. That, and where did you move from, Miranda? And where did you, I know you're in the US now, but where were you? Did we lose Miranda? I think we lost her.
I
Hmm.
was um I was born and raised in Kuwait and India, so two countries, and then
Okay.
I moved to the other side of the planet.
Where are you now? Are you in, oh yeah, you said you're in Chicago now. Okay, wow. Okay, okay. Yeah, Jamaline's also lives in Kuwait part of the year, so you might find something in common there.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So it's about finding clarity in what you want to be known for or what's next, building confidence and showing up and sharing your expertise, belonging to a like-minded community who inspires and supports you. That's why I created the Expat Woman. When I moved to the US, I came to New York to study film, and then I moved to San Francisco because it was like I came here as an accidental expat because I came here to study film, but then I met my husband who's American here, and that's how I landed up staying. And he's a San Franciscan native. So I moved to San Francisco and I had no expat community. And while I was in New York, most of the folks I hung out with at the school, the film school, were all from other countries. So we were navigating New York together. But Sunny, I was in San Francisco living in, it's not a suburb, it's a city, but still in a residential part of San Francisco. No network. My husband's also in film. He was gone for hours on end. And I found, I mean, I could not find any community among the local Americans. And that's when I realized, when I meet with other expats, we have similar interests, similar challenges. We're really interested in each other's story. And so I had to create the community that I didn't have when I moved here. And I also realized that to attract opportunities that align with my goals, and I wasn't sure what my goals are. I knew what I didn't want to do when I moved to the US. And I also, after studying film and then seeing how hard my husband had to work, I knew I didn't want to work in the film industry. So I knew what I didn't want to do. So I kind of then followed what I thought I wanted to do. And it's been a journey, but today I say I have found what really lights me up, what I'm passionate about, what my strengths are. I'm really tapping into them. And that has led to more opportunities. So yes, so pursuing a career business abroad that excites, energizes, and fulfills you. And have all of you found this? Have you all found, you would say, the career that really excites you, energizes you, that's really tapping into your skills? And I know some of your backgrounds, and I think you have. So, but just let me know in the chat, yes or no. Have you found a career that really lights you up? That where work doesn't feel like work, where you're really tapping into your what they call the zone of genius. Miranda says, finally, that's awesome. Yeah, when you come to that, yeah. So, okay, so which of these feels most missing in your life abroad now? Of all these, which one feels that you're missing right now? You would love to have it, but you feel you still have to work towards it. And Marin says on her way, Janine says she's only half into it now. So Janline's also on her way. Okay, which of these, anyone, have you been able to use all of these? I mean, have you achieved all of these, or some of these missing right now? I know it's a lot to read. Okay, so Miranda says building more visibility, working on this. Yeah, and Miranda, you have a huge audience out there because you work with women who are in menopause, right? Not perimenopause. Yeah, yeah, menopause coach. So, yeah, so that the only, I guess the only thing stopping you from getting maybe more clients is the visibility part of it, because I mean, your audience is it's a niche topic, and so your audience, you already know who your audience is. So Janine, belonging to like-minded community and visibility. Thanks for sharing, Janine. Hopefully, being part of the Expat Women membership will create that community for you. And Marin says communicating what I want to be known for and what's next. Okay, that's awesome. And Marin, do you know, are you clear, or are you trying to still figure out what you want to be known for? Let me know in the chat. Oh, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead. Unmute yourself, Mary. Go ahead.
Yes, that's what I'm currently working on is I feel like I have the clarity of what I want to do, but how do I communicate it out? Because my background is quite diverse and different from what I think I want to be doing in the future. Now,
Mm.
not my challenge, let's call it, is to marry those two, and how do I communicate that change in direction, if you will.
That's awesome. And that's great that you're aware of it because at least you know this is what I did and this is what I want to do now. So, and we love to know more about what you want to do and what you're currently doing. Okay, so this is the 8Cs roadmap to community visibility and opportunity. Maybe you're not sure what you want to do right now. Maybe you do, but you're feeling isolated because it's really hard, especially if you have your own business. It can be very isolating when you don't have other people doing something similar to you, and also with the expat background, because I think the expat background really gives us that competitive edge because we've lived in other countries, and I think that gives you a different perspective no matter what you do and the experiences you've had in those countries. Maybe you feel invisible. You know what you want to do, but you just feel you're being overlooked. You should be getting all these clients, or if you're looking for a job or you get looking to get promoted, but people don't see you or you just feel stuck. So the roadmap I'm going to walk you through will help you go from feeling unsure, isolated, invisible, or stuck to confident, connected, visible, and fulfilled abroad. So yes, so this is the 8 C's framework: clarity, confidence, community, content, channel, communication, collaboration, conversion. I'm going to go through each of these briefly. So first is get clear on your strengths, goals, and what success abroad looks like. And I know that can change. Like when I came to the US, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. As I said, I knew what I didn't want to do. I didn't know what my strengths were because back in India, I worked for a company, but I knew I didn't want to work in the corporate world again. I had dabbled in film by going to film school, but I knew I didn't want to make that my full-time career. Now I use film. I make YouTube videos, but and some of what I studied in film is now, I've come full circle, but I don't want to make that, I don't want to just make films all the time. And I'm doing my videos are related to the expat woman or my LinkedIn skills and expertise. So I would love to hear from people in the audience. Do you want to share? You can either unmute yourself or you can share in the chat any of these or all of these, because maybe those of us or those of the folks who are stuck might hear from you, or maybe sometimes when you say something aloud or you write something down, then you get even more clarity and aha moments. So either unmute yourself and share, or sorry, or share in the chat. And Millie is saying, referring to the previous slide, her biggest issue is visibility and connecting more with those who need the support. That's great. I think that's so important, Millie, because I think your target audience, knowing who your target audience is and making them understand that this is a need that they need, or this is a problem that they need solved. So anyone want to go with any of these?
Okay, I would share what lights me up, definitely. At the moment, it is when I connect with other expat people who are having trouble abroad and see how they build their own confidence or their own coping mechanisms through creativity. So showing them how they can use art or drawing or mark making or movement to help them to be more grounded or in their moment so that they can handle being an expat and in this unknown better.
That's
That's for
beautiful.
me.
That's beautiful, and that's so niche, and you've found this and discovered it. And yes, when you're doing what you love doing, it just really lights you up. It fills your soul, it feeds your soul, right? It's
Good
just so
done.
full. Yes, yes. I can see it from the big smile on your face, Janeline. Yeah. Anyone else want to share what lights them up, or what are their strengths, or what they want to be known for? It actually all, what Janeline just shared. She covered all three of the questions.
I'm happy to share.
Okay, go ahead.
So I guess like Janeline, it's absolutely when you're having those conversations with people and you can really see how something you've said really resonates with them. And I suppose one of my strengths would be sort of that empathy and having being able to put myself in their shoes, having gone through those experiences, particularly when they're overseas and maybe have not been overseas before, but supporting their partner and spouse in whatever role they're doing. And I suppose what I would want to be known for is having like supporting those who are supporting others, if that makes sense, because they're often the unsung heroes, right? They're the ones behind the scenes, kind of, supporting their spouses who are doing the role for which they're overseas. But there's a huge support network behind that person. And I suppose that's what I would not want my legacy to be, supporting that person who doesn't have the organization or the job that took them overseas to help them.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And again, you're very clear on what who you're helping and how you want to help them. So that's great. And I like what you said about empathy because I think that's really important. I'm reading this book by Dale Carnegie about, it's not by him, but it's because he's dead, but it's a new book, How to Influence People in the Digital Age and Make Friends. And one of the things they say, people who can build and nurture relationships, whether it's personal or professional, and we're all here because we want to grow our business or get hired or get another job is empathy because when you empathize with someone and then it helps you listen and pay attention and try to solve the problem for them instead of thinking this is what they need help with because very often we come with preconceived notions, right? This is how I can help them, but when we have empathy I feel then we're more open to really solving their problem and helping them, and that way it nurtures relationships and it really creates influence and impact. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Millie. We will move on. Confidence, believe in yourself. How many of you, when you moved abroad, faced any of these? Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, starting over? Anyone face that? Yeah, I see Marion nodding. Yeah, me too. And I think it's just a common thing. And imposter syndrome is faced by people in any case. Every time you do something new, you face this. Even, I've lived in the US now for 22 years, and I still face imposter syndrome, and I realize it usually hits when I'm trying something new. When you're doing something for the first time and then you're second guessing yourself and you're worried about, yeah, failings. Janelyn says starting over so many times, having lived and worked in 13 different countries. Oh my gosh. So hopefully by now you might be an expert at dealing with self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Because, yeah, so but this is, what stops us from doing so much because we just feel, and I think also that fear of being judged by our friends, our family. Like I know many people are hesitant to post on platforms like LinkedIn or even on YouTube because they're so worried about being judged or they feel they're not good enough to really share their information. And even me, after all these years and being a LinkedIn coach, even this morning I shared this workshop on LinkedIn, but I was like, who am I to share it? What are people going to think? And so I didn't even share it directly. I shared it on the Expat Woman LinkedIn page and then reposted it. So after all these years, I still am worried about being judged, about these LinkedIn, folks who are experts on LinkedIn saying, who is she to, and they have never said anything to me, but that's what imposter syndrome is. And I have to also constantly tell myself, believe in yourself, trust your value, own your voice. And, for all of us who are business owners, we want to be able to promote our offers, our services. And we're not doing this because we just want to make money, but we want to do it because we're doing a disservice if we don't do this. Someone can benefit from what we have to offer. Like, Janely, Millie, Miranda, you all shared what you did. And if someone can benefit from your services, why not put that offer out there on social media or in an email? So, confidence is a very important part of this whole bold moves abroad roadmap. And I work with so many expat women, and this is what's stopping them. This not believing in themselves is stopping them from fully sharing their potential with the world. The third one is community. And I think Janine had shared, finding a like-minded community. And that's, with me, that has been the same issue. That's why I created the Expat Woman because I felt other women who had gone through my journey, who had to reinvent themselves after they moved abroad, would understand what I was going through, because it's very different from someone who's lived in the same country all their life. They have their network, they have people to refer them for business, for a job, etc. So, yeah. So, again, think about who supports me, who inspires me, where does my target audience gather? And these could be two or three different groups of people. Maybe your target audience may not necessarily support what you do, but they may want to hire you. And then maybe there's another group who inspires you. But these are all really important. And these are the three areas that I have worked with to grow and build the expat woman. And I'm mostly on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I will follow people who inspire me, who create content that really gets me excited. Just like I get, we spoke about being excited and when we work with our target audience, but also there are people who share content, or I listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos of people who really inspire me. They may not be my friends, but I still want to hear from them. And then who supports you? Where does your target audience gather? This is very important. And so I did want to talk briefly about the Expat Women membership, because I said I will be sharing a little bit. Janine just joined, but I want to, before we move forward, I just wanted to share this opportunity with you, because even though I am the founder of the Expat Woman and the membership, I still get so much support from our women. When I have a question, I'll post it in the group. When other members have, a doubt or they want support, they post it. So I've created this circle of women, and we have a larger expat women community of 50,000 women, but the smaller intimate membership is where I get a lot of support, where I support other women and where women support each other through collaborations, etc. So what could become possible for you with the right women in your circle? So anyone, if do you already have the right women in your circle? Do you already have people who inspire and support you? Let either unmute yourself or share in the chat. If if you're still waiting to meet the right group of women because you feel so isolated right now. And Merelda said identity can also be a challenge. Yes, with confidence for sure. Everyone's thinking about what they would do with if they had the right women in their community, I mean, in their corner. Or have you already found that? So Janine said, I'm looking forward to finding out what's possible. So many possibilities. Yeah, there's so many shiny objects out there, right? And you're in the Expert Room membership, so hopefully, Janine, you can maybe even do virtual coffee chops, coffee chat with some of the members. Share get ideas from them. Sometimes when we brainstorm with someone who is going through a similar journey like you, sometimes you can have that aha moment. And they may not even tell you, may not even give you what you want to hear, but when you're talking, sometimes you get clarity. I'm growing my network in as many countries in Asia. That's really interesting, Merelda. So you're looking at Asia as your target audience, or women who support and inspire you?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Because having an Asian background, but
Mm-hmm.
living in the US, I'm right now heavily US centric. And I feel that there's just so much growth opportunity. And because I'm already going there half the time,
Okay.
it just makes sense for me to have a little more of the balance out in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just personally ready to go visit some of those other countries. I just want to see what they're about. And living so far away on this side, I think and being so involved in growing to where I am today
Right.
has taken all that time. So now I'm kind of ready for just a different perspective, a different method, that kind of thing.
That's beautiful. And there's also a large Asian community in the US too, because who are connected to Asians back in those countries. So that's also sometimes can be a fun. But that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Okay, and I just sharing a little bit more because we're talking about community. This Henriette joined us last year, and she's talking about how connecting with internationally minded women the community. So we do a lot of online virtual events, give our members an opportunity to be seen, to get public speaking opportunities, to build their visibility. And Henriette just shared a little bit about that. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so 1 minute. Adeline said, if I have the right support group around, I would know where to go and ask the thousands of questions I have regarding an entrepreneurship journey I'm ready to undertake. I'm at the moment of my life where I need to move forward on something that resonates with me. And let me know in the chat. Thanks for sharing that, Adeline. Let me know in the chat. Have you found, like, do you know what you're going to do? What business you're going to start? I'd be curious to hear that. So let me know in the chat. That's great though, Adeline, that at least you're looking for that community. Okay, so content is so important in this Bold Moves Abroad roadmap. And you do not need to be an expert to create content. In fact, many people say that many experts say you just need to know 20% more than the rest of the people you're sharing your content with. But it's so important. Many of us want to build that visibility. We want to get seen. Want to get known, but we don't really share our expertise. And I didn't know, I always considered myself a non-writer. Like I was like, I can't write. I mean, I know today people use ChatGPT and stuff, but there's so much AI slop out there. People don't buy AI slop. They want to hear authentic, genuine stories. And that's why, showing up as your messy, imposter syndrome driven self is what will attract your target audience. So ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? And some of you already shared that. 1 minute. I can't see this. I can't even see my slides right now. Or let me see if I can move this somewhere else. Yeah. Ask yourself what do you want to be known for, or what conversations do I want to contribute to? And if I'm talking from a LinkedIn perspective or a social media perspective, sometimes just posting content isn't enough. You want to jump into the conversations. Oh, when you're attending an event like this, like all of you you're sharing in the conversation, you're contributing to it. And that's how people get to know you. Maybe after this event is done, you will connect with each other, and you've already read or heard from some of the folks who have been contributing to the conversation, sharing what lights them up, what challenges they have, for instance. So Adeline says, I need to fine tune it, but the vision I have is to help people settle in a new country, employees, investors, digital nomads. There's so much things to deal with, and that's fantastic, Adeline, and that's a huge need. So you just need to decide how you want to move forward with that. But that's great that who you want to help. That's fantastic. And sometimes I tell people just do it, because when you overthink something, or even when you're creating content, you're like, oh, it has to be perfect. Just put it out there into the universe. And as you keep creating more content, clarity comes with your content, or when you're trying to figure out what I should do with my business, etc. So this is a little formula for you if you're creating content. Story plus lesson plus insight example. What happened? So when you're creating content, or even when you're sharing something in a virtual event, or you're writing a blog post, because especially now with AI, people are just spouting like just lessons. They're just sharing tips. You want people to connect with you. So you want to really either bring in your own personal story, or maybe a story about a client. So maybe Jamlin could share about somebody who's facing a lot of expat challenges, and then maybe what she learned from them, and or how she could help them with her art therapy, and how this could help the person. So it could be business focused, or it could be like just showcasing your expertise in a more organic way. So I'll give you an example. So for instance, for me, one of my biggest culture shocks was seeing Christmas decorations in the stores in September, and it's getting earlier. Maybe now it's August. I don't know. It's just like Costco, these big department stores have decorations so early. It's like ridiculous. Okay, so what did I learn? Living abroad constantly challenges what feels normal and expands your perspective. Now, if I was to do a post about this, I would start. Maybe I'd have a photograph of me in the store with Christmas decorations, or if I was including it in a presentation about culture shock, and then I would share about, how I have to realize and not judge countries, but, be accepting and open to different perspectives, and then why this might help someone. That helps people understand about cultural differences, curious, may help them be curious so they can adapt to a country and feel a lot more joyful, because if you're always mad about the country, and and this is just from a culture shock perspective, like, wow, they don't do things the way we do it back home, and this is so frustrating. But then, you know learning to understand it. So this is just an example. It instead of insight, it could be maybe doing a call to action. So if you're facing culture shock, if you're an expat coach, you could say, if you're facing culture shock, like I know Millie helps expats, or if you're facing culture shock as an expat spouse or trailing spouse, you could maybe consider a free coaching call with me or discovery call, and we can talk more about that. So some kind of example like that. Okay. So channel, choose what you want to where you want to be seen. This is really important. Visibility grows when you choose the right places to show up consistently. And when I first started the Expat Woman, I was on every platform. I was on Instagram, I was on Pinterest, I was on LinkedIn, I was on Facebook, I was on YouTube. I think those were also Twitter, which is now X. I was all over the map, and it was just really hard because I had spread myself thin, and each platform works differently. And I was hosting in-person events, so there was so much. So just finding one or two places to show up consistently helps. And so I'm going to just give you a few examples of where you could show up. Maybe you could focus on LinkedIn. And if you have a business, I strongly encourage you to start taking of all the platforms, because I tried Instagram. I have a Facebook group for the expat women, but I got my clients mainly from LinkedIn, and I built my influence, my impact, my professional network from LinkedIn. So it's professional visibility, thought leadership, networking opportunities. YouTube is fantastic. So once, and again, I don't want you to be on all these platforms. I'm just giving you an example. YouTube's really powerful when you want people to connect with you. They see your videos every week. You start building your know, like, and trust factor with them. You're able to tell stories. You're able to share your expertise, podcasts. You can turn your YouTube videos into a podcast, or you can be a guest speaker at podcasts. You can be guest speakers at other people's events, or you can host your own workshops like what I'm doing. You can join communities. Again, I'm pushing for the Expat Women membership, where our women do form relationships, they collaborate on projects together. We have one woman in the Expat Woman who has collaborated with so many of our other members. She wanted to start a YouTube channel, but she's too nervous to start it alone. So she started bringing on other members every week so they could together do like interviews where they interview each other. You can do newsletters, blogs, workshops, etc. So there's so many ways to choose one. If you don't like social media, maybe say I will host workshops, or I'll have a blog, but you still need to bring people to whatever channel, and you have to figure out where is my audience at. So so right now I'm curious, where does it make sense for you to be visible right now? Let me know in the chat, like, or if you want, you can unmute yourself as well. Where's your audience, or where are you active right now, and is it working for you? So Marelda says LinkedIn. That's awesome, Marelda. There's so many professional women, especially, and you can do a search by countries too, so you can connect with those women. Very cool. So yeah, so just think about that. No one else is sharing, so maybe you guys are still haven't decided on one platform. I'd love to hear. Okay, so Janine says LinkedIn for connections and Instagram, LinkedIn for collaboration, Instagram for connection with expat women. And if that's awesome, and if Instagram works for you, especially because I know you, Janine, you do art, which might be a good platform. And if again, you have to figure out, and all this comes by trial and error. For me, Instagram was not really working, and it was actually giving me, like, I see all these people, their fabulous lives, and all those would show up in my platform, and then I'll get caught in the rabbit hole, and then wish my life was like their lives, Where's LinkedIn? Yeah. So Constantina says LinkedIn are getting more traction. Yeah. Thanks, Constantina. Constantina is one of my LinkedIn coaching clients, and she's been doing, no worries, Constantina. She's been doing, yeah, great since we started working. She's in my 3-month LinkedIn coaching program, and she's been doing amazing with LinkedIn. And I know that it will lead to many opportunities, Constantina. Thank you. Okay. The 6C is communication. Build relationships and share your value. Engaging with your audience and community, building meaningful relationships. And I see this more and more. Again, I'm talking about LinkedIn because that's where my expertise is. People are just putting out content, but they're not nurturing relationships. And that's why earlier I spoke about, you commenting on other people's posts, contributing. If you just keep sharing content, but you're not really finding other people's content to comment on, you're not really communicating. Communication is not just about sharing your own ideas. It's also about lifting other people up, engaging in their posts, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. Communicating, and then also communicating your offers, skills, ideas, or insights, and then asking people for help. Like maybe, I think, was it somebody shared earlier that they were still, Adeline said that she's trying to fine tune how she wants to help people. Maybe Adeline could do a post on LinkedIn and say, I'm looking to start this business, and I am trying to figure out, maybe you're deciding on a specific country that you want to help people relocate to, or you're deciding whether you want to work with employees, corporate employees, or digital nomads. You could do a poll, you could ask people for their opinions. You could send people messages and ask them, I just did a post on LinkedIn, would love for you to contribute to it. So, asking people for help, people are so ready. In the Expat Women membership, we do have like a space for support where people can ask for insights or feedback. We meet once a month for a virtual meetup where, again, our members ask people if they'd be willing to brainstorm with them to help them come up with something. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to collaborate on a post, or you want to collaborate on hosting an event. And just, you share it, you let people know, because, I used to always think, oh, things will just fall into my lap. And then I realized I have to communicate what I want, because people don't always know what you want. You have to tell people. So communication is important. So instead of spending each and refining your digital media spend, which I mean like posts or fine-tuning your website, and all those are good. Spend time pursue interacting with people, help them solve a problem, or help them promote a pursuit. So maybe you see someone on a social media platform, or maybe they've even emailed you, or maybe if you're in a community or in my membership and someone says, oh, I'm struggling with this, maybe offer to help them. Say, I will repost your post, or I will create a post, or I will connect you with someone. So that's really important with communication. So I shared a lot about collaboration already, and there's so much power in collaboration. My first event in San Francisco, my second event in San Francisco, I collaborated with someone. My first event in San Francisco, no one showed up at my event. And it was, I was humiliated because I was sitting in that, it was in a bar in downtown San Francisco. I don't even drink. I was sitting there with a glass of lemonade, sipping it and hoping someone would show up, and no one showed up. So my second event, I collaborated with someone, and she had an audience. So this is called borrowed audience. She already had an audience, and so she brought in a lot of people. And after that, my events took off. I used to have events every week. Sometimes I'd collaborate, sometimes I wouldn't, but it led to me building that confidence, but also getting people to come to my events and learning how to host events. Who could help you grow and who could collaborate with you? Think about a potential podcast guest, a speaker or event partner, fellow entrepreneur professional, someone with a complementary audience or expertise. So maybe is anyone here looking for any kind of collaboration? Let me know in the chat. Maybe there's somebody here who might want to collaborate with you, or might refer you to someone who you could collaborate with. So are you looking to do something and you don't want to do it alone, and you want someone to connect with? So yeah, so what specifically are you looking to collaborate on, Janine? That's great that you're open to collaborating. Is there something specific that out of this list or not listed that you want to do, but you want to do it in collaboration with someone? Anybody else? And you can unmute yourself so if you don't want to have to type it in the chat. Fantastic, Janine. So Janine looking to do a workshop with someone, and Janine, within if you share more, maybe later we can DM each other and like on LinkedIn or inside the membership. But if you say what kind of workshop you want to do, or who your target audience is, or what the theme is, maybe I can connect you with another member within the membership, and you could collaborate with them and host a workshop. Maybe you start with hosting something for our members. I mean, you have such an amazing subject, Janine, art therapy. But maybe, combining it with somebody. In fact, we have another member actually in our membership who also does art. So maybe she lives in Canada. Maybe both of you could collaborate and do a workshop together. Awesome. All right. So yeah, so this is the queen of collaboration. Some of you might have met her at the summit. She was a speaker at our recent summit. Again, I'm talking about the Expat Women membership, but she's the one who would collaborate with our members on doing YouTube videos together. I think she and one of our members started a little business helping people relocate, something similar to what Adeline wants to do. So yeah, she's been amazing and she has really tapped into our collaboration opportunities within the membership. And finally, the last one is turn visibility into opportunities. Being visible is important, but visibility with intention creates opportunities. It's like a post going viral on social media. Like if you do a post about you eating donuts or something, I don't know, like what's your favorite donut or what's your favorite cookie flavor. Maybe a lot of people on LinkedIn will, or any social media post will comment, or you show a beautiful photo of you with your kids, and people love photos with kids, right? And they all comment. But if it's not really related to what you want to be known for, the post might go viral, but it's not really with intention, right? Because it's not really showcasing, and it's good. It's good to share personal photos from time to time because you want people to know you're human, build that know, like, and trust factor. But a post that goes viral is not going to bring you business. So when you build your visibility with intention, and not every post should be or everything you do should be just selling your offers. You also want to nurture those relationships, and that's why all these 8Cs are the 8Cs are so important. They kind of build on each other, but you can't do one without the other. But I think conversion is really important when you're building your visibility, and that's why getting known for what you or getting recognized for what you really want to be known for is so important because it's really building your personal brand. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So people are not clear about what you do, who you help, what problem you solve for them, and how you solve it. Do you offer coaching? Do you have like in my case, I have the membership, I have LinkedIn coaching. So I also do bold moves abroad coaching for those who want more clarity and want to get help with each of these C's. But people need to know what you can do and what the transformation is. So that's why intention is so important. Are people clear on how they can support, hire, refer, or collaborate with you? If you're using LinkedIn primarily, is your profile clear? If you're using Instagram, does it really show people what you do, how you can help them, who you can help? Do people know what you do? Have I shared what I'm looking for? Do I have a next clear step or offer? Say they connect with you, or maybe you do a workshop. What once they attend your workshop, or maybe you write a blog post, they say, wow, this is really helpful. But then you don't tell them, you don't have a call to action. They're not going to know what to do next, right? Maybe it's a free downloadable. You have like a free, like, maybe Merelda has something. This is how you deal with the 5 ways you can deal with menopause. Something that can help them then move to the next level. Okay. So the 8C roadmap again, it's clarity, confidence, community, content, channel, communication, collaboration, conversion. Okay. So let me know in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and let me know which of these do you feel you are really like confident you have, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is like 10, like you're really clear on what you do, but this is where you feel stuck. You can either unmute yourself or you can let me know in the chat. And Mirelda says she would love to do speaking engagement and wellness events, menopause related in Asia. That's fantastic, Mirelda. That's such a, that I think that would be really amazing. We do have a member inside our membership, Rajinder, who also works with women in menopause and pre-menopause. I know she's been doing events she lives in LA. I think she's been doing events there. Okay. Anyone want to share which is one of the 8Cs that you're comfortable, like you've really mastered it, and which one do you still feel stuck, or is there more than one? We're still looking at the list. I know it's a long list. And that was a lot. And again, don't be shy to share. Like if you mastered one of these, that's awesome. Maybe you mastered several. Or are you good? Like are you stuck with all of them? Like I'm just curious. Okay, someone just wrote something. Okay, so Janine is new and doing collaboration and workshop. Just finished my first one and looking forward to doing more. That's excellent. That's so did you collaborate on the workshop, Janine? Did you do the workshop with someone else? So
Yes, I collaborated with another woman that I actually met here on Expat Women during the week-long
the summit?
the summit that we had, and we just had a workshop for expat women in the GCC countries, Kuwait, Iran, with all the unrest going on. And I did some art, some therapeutic art with them. She helped them through a bit of coaching and that kind of workshop where she used her expertise, I used mine, and
Beautiful.
together we showed people the different ways there are for dealing with what they're going through. So I
That's
really enjoyed
fantastic.
that. So that made it that I really want to do some more. I would love to do some more collaborations like that.
Yeah, maybe Miranda and you can do something like art therapy for women in menopause, because I know it really affects your brain. So, but that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And I love that you found another collaborator at the Expat Women Summit. And I know you were very active at the summit. And that's why also when you show up, even showing up at a workshop like this, I have to give you guys all like applaud. I have to applaud all of you because it's, sitting for 1 hour, having to listen to someone, turning on your camera, participating. It all requires effort, right? But once you do it, that it's building your visibility and your opportunities. So I love it. All right. So yeah, if there's an air, so I'm going to talk very briefly about the Expat Women membership because the doors are currently open. I would love to welcome more people in. So these are some of our members, and all of them, some of them have never spoken publicly before. They joined our membership, and then I have so many opportunities for them to build their visibility. Some of them have got clients from these opportunities. Some of them have collaborated. We focus on all the 8 Cs that I just mentioned. Because of our monthly virtual meetups, women come with and I'm there at everything. I'm very involved. So some of them have got clarity after, attending regularly. Sometimes you can't attend the live, but you watch the replays. There's opportunities to collaborate. So it's community, there's events, there's workshops, there's visibility opportunity, and it is a small group. So everyone knows everyone. Some are more active. Sometimes they go through seasons where they get really busy, but then they come back. I've had members who are with us since I started the Expat Women membership, and they're doing great today. And so, for instance, this earlier this month at the summit, all these women are members of the Expat Women. Out of our 23 speakers and panelists, 17 of them were members of the Expat Women membership. These were all the women from the membership. Not all our members participated as speakers, but 17 of them did because I give them the opportunity. And every month they completed a milestone inside the membership, helping them prepare for the presentations and their bio. It was all very simple. Some of them had never spoken publicly before. Some of them were speakers, but they had never spoken at summits. So so one of the biggest opportunities, of course, is speaking at our summit. And then this is Glynis. She's actually works in global mobility. She's originally from the Bahamas, and she has spoken, but even she's a public speaker. She's an author. She's an executive coach. She works for a corporation, but she still joined the membership because she wanted to to build her visibility even more and take her expertise to the next level. So we have women who are just starting off. They don't even have clarity yet on what they want to do. And then there are women who have clarity, who are already global leaders, who still want to be part of this group of women. And everyone supports everyone in there. Corina, she being part of the membership actually gave her an idea to combine her marketing strategy with mental health as one. So she actually she had clarity. She wanted to be, when she joined us, she was an SEO expert, but then now she's bringing in mental health as well. So she's another one, and she got 2 client inquiries recently from some of the visibility opportunities. So that's the Expat Women membership. I'll share the link in the chat. We do close doors tomorrow evening, so you can check it out. You can join for a month, and then if you feel this is not right for you, you can always, leave, or you could join and stay, as long as you want. And I really believe you will get a lot out of this. So, yeah. So, do you have any questions about the membership, about anything I just shared? We also have 6 minutes left. We can do, if you would you like to go into a little breakout room and connect with other people for a few minutes? Let me know. Just unmute yourself and let me know whether you have questions or you want to just connect with some of the others. We can all stay in the same room, or we could break out into rooms. Yeah, because we have 5 minutes left. I just want to leave this to you now. Now it's your stage. I spoke enough. Or, anyone have anything they want to share? I know there's a lot of information. Do you guys want to network with each other? We can just have everyone, maybe, right, since it's such a small group, maybe we can have everyone briefly share maybe one goal you want to achieve this year, like a small goal or a big goal, like, one bold move abroad you want to make. For instance, I can go first. I have the Expat Woman YouTube channel. I have currently, I think we have about 1,000 subscribers, but for us to get monetized, so you can monetize the YouTube channel, but to monetize it, you need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. I've reached the 1,000 subscribers. Now I want to get to the 4,000 watch hours. So that's my goal for this year, and I have to figure out. I've mastered LinkedIn. Now I want to master YouTube to figure out how I can really tap into YouTube to build my influence, grow the expat woman influence through video storytelling and bringing other folks online, like I do every month with my members. We do a Bold Moves Abroad coffee chat where we discuss different topics. Anyone else want to share a goal they want to achieve this year, if they need any support, etc.? Everyone's thinking, huh? Okay, Janely, go ahead.
I don't think I have like one specific goal for this year. I'm still trying to connect with the right people, connect with my community, people who get seen out there, people to work with, or people who want to work with me. So that's my biggest goal, is to expand my connections, my connection for people to work with in terms of colleagues and for people to work with in terms of clients.
That's beautiful. So you have 2 target audiences, your peers who you can collaborate with, and then people who will hire you. And that's a big goal actually, because defining your target audience and growing it is so important. I think you've already, by joining the membership, Janine, you've already kind of working towards one goal, which is finding the right women to collaborate with and finding the community that supports you. And then I would say definitely focus on LinkedIn. You use Instagram already, but LinkedIn is where I believe people can, you can find the people who will pay for your services because it's really professionally oriented. And, you could even maybe look at corporations, maybe corporations who was, I think, was it Adeline who was talking about like helping people relocate? I know even Millie does that, but, maybe you can provide art therapy to expats who are moving abroad and through a corporation. So, and I know Constantina and I have, Constantina is one of my LinkedIn coaching clients, and she provides mental health services to individuals and corporations. And we've been looking at LinkedIn to help her reach those corporations. So I think that's a great goal to have because you can't reach everybody. So the more specific and target, because how many clients would one need, right? If you're doing one-on-one clients, you have to decide how many do I really need in a month to achieve my financial goal. So I love that goal. That's awesome, Janine. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? We have 1 minute left. Anyway, hopefully this information will help you. This was a lot. I have recorded it. I will share a link with all of you so you can watch it again. I've also shared the link to the membership. The doors close tomorrow night. I would encourage you to consider joining us because I think it will really help you with finding that community and that support and also getting to work with me even more. Because I do also every month, I also host a LinkedIn workshop where I share insights, new features, etc. So, because I do encourage my members to use LinkedIn as their main platform because I really believe that's where all the magic happens. It happened to me, and it continues to happen. All right, thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining me. Good luck, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.